Celeste is the new disruptor character added to Deadlock in the Old Gods New Blood update. She uses her artistic skills to weave in and out of fights while dealing massive damage in the process. Here's the full ability breakdown, her best items and more. Let's get right into it. Celeste is finally out. Apollo, enjoy us. I'm so sorry. You'll be last, but it's okay. This character seems the most broken out of all of them we have had so far on release. And I know I've said this before, but I really mean it this time because this character is a spirit nuker. And if you know anything about Yoshi, you know that he loves spirit nukers. This character seems crazy, seems pretty easy to get into. I think will get nerfed very, very soon. But let's get right into it. The attack is a staff, okay? It's just a staff. It's a pretty slow projectile, but it does bounce, okay? So you can headshot the enemy with it.
You made me do this.
What it also does is you can shoot people behind corners, because it does, if you shoot close to an enemy on the floor, it does ricochet to them. Now that being said, the damage is actually a tiny bit... Oh, it's the exact same. It does ricochet to enemies if you hit the floor with it. Which means in lane, this is going to be an insane left-click harassment tool if you buy high velocity. Because the one thing this thing has, the one issue, is it's pretty slow. So high velocity, I feel like it's going to be like a requirement for her. Okay, so the one ability is called Light Eater. It is basically a cone in front of you. You can't really miss it. It's really big, and it gives the enemies that get hit by it will take spirit damage when you hit them with bullets. Plus, it will apply spirit lifesteal to the enemies. Okay, which means this is a debuff, and it's going to be used in lane to harass. Okay, so what you do is you put the one on them. And then after they will take increased damage from your gun. But again, you will also get spirit lifesteal from them, which means if you use the other abilities that we're getting into next, you will also gain health back. The upgrades are 10-second cooldown, 3-meter cast range, and then more spirit lifesteal. And on max level, it's 25 damage and increased spirit scaling. In practice, I will only level 1 point in this early because the scaling on the spirit doesn't really matter in lane early. I think this is an ability that scales really well into the late game. And I forgot I turned my alerts. I didn't turn my alerts off. So I think this ability is going to be very, very strong. Later down the line, it's going to scale really well into the late game. Whereas early, it's just going to be a lot of like early harassment damage. Ability number 2 is crazy. So this is called Dazzling Trick. It surrounds yourself with a barrier, okay? And gives you bonus movement speed. And if the enemy breaks that barrier while it's active on you, it will silence everyone around you and it will deal 50% of the barrier damage as health. Okay, so right now my barrier is 128, which means if the barrier breaks, it's gonna do 60 damage to an enemy. So you put it on you, and if the enemy breaks it, it breaks and it deals damage and silences everyone around you. And this is a really big radius, okay? So upgrade level 1, movement speed. Level 2, it gets 100 extra barrier and increased scaling. The scaling goes from 1.1 to 1.8, actually. So gets a lot more barrier the more spirit you have. And upgrade number 3 is going to increase the silence duration and it's going to lower the cooldown, cut in half, okay? Cut in half. Plus, it's going to combo with the ult, which we'll get into in a second. Ability number 3 seems also really broken. It's called Radiant Daggers, and it calls down, it does what it says. It calls down a beam of light in an area very close to something like a page 3. And if anyone in that area gets hit, they take impact damage, and the damage you do to them is going to be amplified, the spirit damage you do to them. The upgrades, it goes on a charge meter. The first upgrade literally gives you 3 charges in lane, okay? And then it's going to cut the cooldown almost in half, increase the impact damage, and on max level, it's going to increase the amount of spirit amp you get on the enemy, and it will increase the fire rate, okay? And remember, you want to shoot the enemy with the auto attacks, because Light Eater works with the auto attacks, okay? And this is what this looks like.
I will bring hope. I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah.
I won't let you stop me.
This seems not very balanced. Okay, and then the ult. And this seems, I don't know. This is gonna be really dumb. So this is an orb of light, okay? And it bounces between enemies. You send it to an enemy. The enemy is gonna get movement slowed. and gonna get their dash distance reduced, okay? And it can bounce. And the max on base level, it bounces a maximum of 8 times. When you level it up, it reduces their movement speed and dash distance even further, increases the damage, and on level 3, it has another 10 max bounces and it will reduce the cooldown. And this is what this looks like.
Into the fray. You guys might want to give up and save us all some time.
So, you might ask, how do I counter this ult? The answer is, you probably don't, you just die, okay? So, in theory, what Yoshi, I think, wants us to do is move out of the radius of your teammate, okay? Because what happens is, if there's no one around you, so if there's only one enemy, and you cast this on them, it will not find a bounce target.
Guess we're gonna see what happens.
And then, after a while, it will just disappear, okay? And that's how you counter the ult. Now, you might remember, going back to the 2, if you max a 2, it will allow the ult to bounce on Celeste. So what you can do is, even if you're in a 1v1, you cast this thing, and then you bounce it back to yourself. So, even in 1v1s later down the line, it feels like there is no counter. And I just want to show this off. The bounce distance is absolutely crazy, okay? It's not small, okay?
Hope this goes as well as rehearsal.
What is that range? No, I really so I really thought that this was enough distance to not bounce, but so on base level without any items, the radius of this is absolutely let's see how far this goes actually.
This should be good.
So that works. Okay, let's go further. I mean, surely this is not gonna work, right?
Hope this goes as well as rehearsal.
Okay, so that's about the radius. That's about the radius. I think if I add an enemy here, like, that's gonna hit.
As many as I can.
Yeah. So this is about the radius on base level. The broken thing about this character is I think this kit has insane synergy, right? Like, everything you do amps the spirit damage. If you do more spirit damage, you get life back. Plus, you have a shield that on max level is on a 17-second cooldown that also scales with your spirit, okay? So if we're getting into items here and builds, raw spirit is gonna be crazy on this character. But other than that, Arcane Surge and Kinetic Dash will also be crazy. Reason being is, Arcane Surge works on every single ability. It will make your ult, your 1 last longer on the enemy. It already lasts for 12 seconds, so you probably don't want to use this on the 1. But it's gonna increase the duration of your shield. And the counter to shield, I think, is not breaking it, right? Because the way the shield is designed is, you have 4 seconds. It lasts for 4 seconds, and if you break it, and you close, you will get silenced and you will take a lot of damage, right? Like, it's a lot of damage. So I think the counter to the shield is to not break it. But Arcane Surge is gonna extend our duration of the shield while making the AoE bigger, while giving it more spirit power, which means more health for us and more damage to the enemy, right? So it's already really good to use on the shield. Okay. It also works really, really well on the 3, because the 3, it's going to increase the radius. And this is what the radius looks like when you just have Arcane Surge. And again, you have multiple charges of this. I just want to show off how fast you can cast a 3. And this is no cooldowns, okay? So this is what it looks like in game. There is no delay between, like basically 2-second delay between the charges, okay? Which means rapid recharge is gonna work insanely well on this ability, because now you have suddenly have 5 of those, right? And you can cast them instantly. And this is, again, this is in-game speed, right? You can spam this. And then, you know, every single one of those is currently doing 172 damage, and that's at 8k. I don't even have like that many good items. And then you just chill until they come back, right? The cooldown is pretty low. It's 15 seconds per. Which means that you can also probably use this to farm creep camps quite well, actually. Let me... Yeah, that's actually not bad. We talked about high velocity mag, how this is probably going to be necessary. But again, this character, you want to shoot while you do your stuff. Especially because of the 1, right? Because the 1, every single bullet you hit on them, while the 1 is active, is going to do spirit damage. And this scales really well, by the way, right? It's going to be a hybrid character. You're going to buy some gun items, and I think the best gun item is going to be Kinetic Dash. You're going to have even more stamina, because you're going to combine Arcane Surge and Kinetic Dash. And it gives you fire rate, right? So you can proc this kind of fast. So this is going to be really, really high damage. You do want to get the 4k investment spike on the gun, just because the gun works really well. But overall, you will buy a lot of spirit on this. You will buy a lot of items like Boundless is going to be probably key, because the scaling is really, really good. Superior cooldown, rapid recharge. I will work on the build, and depending on when you're watching this video, the build is going to be linked in the comments, and I'll update this every game. I'll play a lot of Celeste today. TLDR, character seems really, really insane. There's probably going to be some insane tech you will be able to do just with the ult, where you wait until, you know, it stops bouncing, and then you use yourself to keep on bouncing and chase. Right, so you can do like transitions where you keep the ult on yourself and you keep on letting it bounce, probably.
The more of them, the better.
Yeah, where you can use your shield to just keep on bouncing and keep on chaining it. So, skill order real quick. In lane, you probably start 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you get 1 point in 1, because the cooldown is going to be really good on this. You can just spam this, and then with an 8-second cooldown, right? That's kind of insane. You can basically use this every time you engage an enemy. And then I think the most valuable points is going to be at least 2 points in Radiant Daggers early, because it's going to give you 3 charges on base, plus you will have lower cooldown, plus more damage. And then you're probably going to max the shield, I want to say, because the shield just has insane upgrades on max level. The level 2 already makes the shield last for longer, slash makes it bigger. And then on max level, the cooldown is going to be cut in more than half. Plus you can do the ult combo. Plus the silence duration is longer. So I think you max the 2, and then maybe it might turn out that maxing the Radiant Daggers is OP too, because this gives you more amp and more fire rate per stack. But overall, I think this character is going to be broken. Way better than I expected, I think. Way cooler than I expected. I'm ready to nuke people with my spirit abilities. And because this is a spirit character, Yoshi's not going to nerf this. So enjoy it while you can.